Joining today from the Department of Aid, Trade, Consumer Protection, it's my friend Michael. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thrilled to be here.
We are going to be testing your knowledge today with weights and measures. It's Weights and Measures Week, and that's the week of March 1st through the 7th. And Michael, would say it doesn't come up as much as other topics do, but there's a huge part of DATCP component that's out there making sure that you're getting the right amount, whether it's at the deli, at the gas station, at the farmer's market. When it comes to weighing measures, it's tested by you folks at DATCP. It's incredible.
It is, so a lot of the time when you and I have a chance to talk, we're talking about things that really happen in the Bureau of Consumer Protection, but we work very, very closely with the Bureau of Weights and Measures, and we're all housed in the division. And so we have some overlap with our complaints and how we do things, a lot of similarities, but the big difference is they're out in the field and they're verifying all these different scales of measurements. And so the most common one you see is the fuel pumps. They're out there making sure that, if you're paying for a gallon of gas, you're getting an actual gallon of gas. Or if you're at the grocery store and you're weighing something, that when those scales weigh, you're actually getting the correct weight. They also inspect those products. So if you're, 12 ounces of soda is what it says in the can, they'll pour it out and say, are you actually getting 12 ounces within it? Another one at the stores is grocery stores. So you're scanning your final price, comes up to be something, but the product didn't register the same price that it did on the shelves. Like I could go on and on and on about all these different ways that they get out there and protect consumers.
Yeah, and I guess we want to learn a little bit about the behind the scenes. So we're going to pull the curtain here just a tiny bit. But ultimately, the folks that are going out and doing, whether it's investigations or testing things, but what's the process behind the scenes that's going to have the staff go out and check on a situation or issue that arises?
So there's a couple of different ways. The first time you start is like, how do you actually decide who you're going to go and look at or what you're going to look at? And so some of that is just random inspections, do a protection. Like last year, the Bureau of Weights and Measures conducted 307, almost 308,000 weights and measures and inspections. Like that's a
incredible.
lot.
That's an incredible number.
It is. And they visited, almost 6,700 businesses statewide. So they're out there a lot, and they're out there actively looking at things. And what happens is we're either doing random inspections, or sometimes they go a complaint. Those things that we just talked about, maybe something didn't come out right, or you think you might have been shorted. You'll file a complaint with us here at the Division of Trade and Consumer Protection. And usually within 3 days, an inspector will be out at that location verifying that scale or that weight of measurement or whatever product it was to see, is this something that was a pattern? Is it a one time? And the goal is just make sure that that scale or whatever it is comes back into compliance.
And so if you do notice something that you're like, oh man, I don't know if this is right, or man, I thought that was going to be that seems like more gallons of gas than I thought it was going to. Where would a consumer start to notify you guys of the said potential issue?
Well, the first, they can file a complaint with us. And if you go to our website at DATCP.wi.gov and you just look for the weights and measures tab, it's pretty prominent there. That'll lead you to some information you want, who your local inspector might be, how to file a complaint, a phone number to give them a call, and a lot more information too on what your expectation could be. What's really interesting is I think consumers would be very surprised at how small the threshold of tolerance is for all of these measurements. Your gallon of gas, you think, well, how many ounces is it? And it's not. It's very, very, very minimal. And so the accuracy needs to be very high. And by and large, I would say most of the inspections result in, between 97 and higher percent of compliance in almost everything that they do, which is great.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, we probably don't know what it really comes down to as far as measuring and testing and ensuring that these things are working properly. That's why you're out there. That's what you're out there to protect us, the consumers out there who are buying this stuff each and every day. And would you know if they've seen more activity in the last couple of years because the consumer has been spending more? So has that put more pressure on your departments to, because there may be more complaints, or we've seen some issues with price gouging? That's a totally different separate topic, but we've seen more things where the inflation prices increase, so we should call the question sometimes what's going on out there.
But we haven't seen the complaints spike. It's been pretty consistent the past couple of years. Same with ours, our volumes here over the Bureau of Consumer Protection. And what we have seen is, the volume that we're out there and we're looking at is also relatively the same, but it's the tolerances continue to be really, really high. And so it's, I agree with you. All of a sudden, prices are spiking. You have these accusations of, hey, they're gouging in the prices, but really it's the market that's driving all of that. But what those industry changes and ebbs and flows don't really impact how those products are being measured. And the Bureau of Weights and Measures is out there to just make sure that really what you see is what you get. That's the best way to sum it up.
Yeah, and I suppose on the flip side, if there was a lot of complaints going on, then there'd be a bigger problem ultimately of, oh my gosh, we got to, you got big issues here. But because of the response of this team, things can be checked pretty quickly and work on solving a problem, without too much, hopefully, display or people being interrupted from their buying and doing their activities daily.
Yeah, it is. Some of the statistics that I think would give a little bit of peace of mind that I think are important to share is, you go to the fuel pump. I'm sure that we've all stood there and thought, am I really, because we don't know, are you really getting,
Right.
what you're paying for? And you see the small elements of how it's being measured. But fuel pumps were 99.6% either accurate or they over delivered in the customer's favor in the entire year inspections. So that speaks to you are getting what you paid for. The same with when you're at the grocery store, and they sell those products, probably 99.7% of those were accurate. So when you get that pound of apples, you're really getting that pound of apples. Other things that were packaged on the outside. So, we talked earlier about you got that 12-ounce can of soda. 98.4% of the time, what's advertised as being inside that product was actually inside there or more. And so you're seeing that all of these things are really showing that you're actually getting what you paid for, but it's really important that the team's out there verifying that.
Yeah, I think that's got to give you some sense of relief as a relief as a consumer, and for you guys as well. It's a relief that everybody's following the rules, and we have the checks and balances to keep that steady. So it's great information, and certainly if people are interested in learning more or maybe want to file a complaint, where can they find that information, Michael?
Just hop over to our website at DATCP.wi.gov. I have all the information you need.
Fantastic. Very interesting stuff. I really would like to just open the book on this one, but not enough time. We'll have to pick it up another time, Michael, but appreciate your time and we'll talk soon.
You got it. Thanks a lot, Jeremy.